Waffle 9891 says, Sob. Yeah, Valsam says back. Waffle 9891 says WB. Cosmical Brownie says can someone sleep? P. Yeah, Valsam says my desktop environment was acting up. Yeah, Valsam says I need music discs. Scotty P says so this is just to do something. Catella 2605 says MHM. Yeah, Valsam says yes. Scotty P says man. Yeah, Valsam says Gentoo Linux is the best NGL. Yeah, Valsam says because you know I use Gentoo BTW. Yeah, Valsam says Creeper. Waffle 9891 says oh man. Copy P says okay I placed it or Catella 2605 says I got more. Catella 2605 says come for them. Scotty P says oh my god. Scotty P says okay lol. Catella 2605 says I should have got my elder so hard to walk though. Scotty P says lol. Teleporting to spawn point. Respawn point set. Scotty P says I think you have fun making an obby Catella. Yeah, Valsam says AWSG chat. Scotty P says hi yeah. I'm placing many iron doors with Catella. Yeah, Valsam says new net spawn. Catella 2605 says maybe you'll give it a try. Yeah, Valsam says should I look inside the court? Yeah, Valsam says oh wow this place is cool. Scotty P says you could make a maze out of all these iron doors. Yevoutsum says in the defendant of this court. Yevoutsum says this guy took all my mining coins. Yevoutsum says ALR I'm out. Ketelit2605 says that would be pretty smart. After I cover the island in iron doors, I'll make it into a maze. Scotty P says yes, and you have to go through the maze each time to get back to your base lol. Yevoutsum says they keep updating my soon-to-be build spots. Scotty P says okay, I placed the doors. Ketelit2605 says I got more. Scotty P says oh my goodness. Ketelit2605 says I'm coming. Cosmical Brownie says waffles. Cosmical Brownie says CMER. Ketelit2605 says scoot after this, can we do a raid in this village? Scotty P says well sure. Yevoutsum says wow they really did update my arena. Waffle 9891 says ooh. Cosmical Brownie says last scaffolding. Waffle 9891 says last one. Yevoutsum says NAHH bro I was gonna make the arena. Cosmical Brownie says why yes SSS. Cosmical Brownie says I don't have my chest plate. Waffle 9891 says LMAO. Cosmical Brownie says P. Cosmical Brownie says OHHH. Waffle 9891 says one water bucket. Yevoutsum says bro really stole my credit. Sad face. Waffle 9891 says wait. Cosmical Brownie says IDK if that work. Waffle 9891 says can I JSUT? Scotty P says I'm making a wall. Waffle 9891 says WOAHHH. Catella 2605 says I just checked and this island is bigger than I thought. Cosmical Brownie says anyways CMER. Scotty P has made the advancement. Who needs rockets? Waffle 9891 says want some chicken. Catella 2605 says dog. Catella 2605 says I can't even hit you. Scotty P says I'm too fast. Catella 2605 says I give up. Cosmical Brownie says low like. Scotty P says Hudson. Scotty P says I win. Waffle 9891 says Catella 2605 says hot. Waffle 9891 says mace attack. Cosmical Brownie says in a bit I have to go for a bit. P. Cosmical Brownie says AGGGGHHH. Waffle 9891 says JKJK. Catella 2605 says you'll get Ray bottle while you do that. Scotty P says oh. Catella 2605 says sometimes it's kinda hard to find rail to my base. Cosmical Brownie says SIGGHHH. Scotty P says I wonder why. Yevoutsum says guys should I do a server live stream on this Minecraft server? Waffle 9891 says I'm out. Scotty P says yeah. That would be fun. Yevoutsum says I haven't streamed in a while. Scotty P says bye waff. Cosmical Brownie says CMER. Waffle 9891 says not like. Scotty P says OHHH. Waffle 9891 says sorry caps lock. Scotty P says lol. Scotty P says I did it too far. Scotty P says so I'm going this way next, but I'm ready for the raid. Catella 2605 says no you didn't. Scotty P says HMM. Scotty P says maybe I can go back. Catella 2605 says okay it's starting. Catella2605 says okay asterisk. Yeah, Outsum says FUHH. Scotty P says HOPW, will they get past the impenetrable wall I have made? Scotty P has made the advancement. Voluntary exile. Catella2605 says they're hiding. Chekosito left the game. Cosmical Brownie says him all out. Yeah, Outsum says you guys got any gunpowder? Catella2605 says you look cool, Scoot. Scotty P says Yarhar, thank you. Catella2605 says I like the netherite. Cosmical Brownie says we need sand. P. Waffle9891 says then. Waffle9891 says time to water. Cosmical Brownie says finally. Cosmical Brownie says look like. Cosmical Brownie says AFK. Cosmical Brownie says but like I got to leave soon. Cosmical Brownie says I'll be back in some time. 3. Waffle9891 says she. Cosmical Brownie left the game. Waffle9891 says me too lol. Scotty P says this might be optimal race stat. Waffle9891 says bye chat. Scotty P says bye Abby. Waffle9891 left the game. Catella2605 says yes easy totems. Scotty P says we're even. Can't tell it 2605 says it's trying to hide. Yeah, Valsum says you know what we need. Yeah, Valsum says we need flankers everywhere. Can't tell it 2605 says UHHH. Can't tell it 2605 says I don't see it. Scotty P says new. Scotty P says maybe it's outside wall. Scotty P says I'm so smart. Can't tell it 2605 says yep it was outside wall carrot carrot. Scotty P says did you die first? Can't tell it 2605 says no I didn't die. I got potion. See? Scotty P says I thought I saw her skin just pop over lol. Yeah, Valsum was slain by zombie. Yeah, Valsum says so like a zombie just broke into my base. Scotty P says they don't even want to fight us lol. Can't tell it 2605 says oh my gosh DSAKHNASKD I can't find them. Yeah, Valsum says thank god dang zombie didn't steal my maxed out set of hem iron. Scotty P says lol. Can't tell it 2605 says convey over here. Scotty P says they are all here lol. Catella 2605 says free kills. Catella 2605 says come. Catella 2605 says take this. Catella 2605 says I almost died. Yeah, Malsum says she, there's a witch. Yeah, Malsum says anyone willing to TP, wait not, there's a valuable resource in that cave. Scotty P has completed a challenge. Hero of the village. Scotty P says fire. Can't tell it 2605 says yay. Scotty P says hi. 3. Can't tell it 2605 says you're welcome. Scotty P says I'm gonna finish the wall. Can't tell it 2605 says okay. Can't tell it 2605 says the villagers will stuff at you when you have hit over the village. Scotty P says OHH. Scotty P says where are your villagers? Can't tell it 2605 says I'm waiting for the opening to my base. Can't tell it 2605 says looking. Can't tell it 2605 says it's okay. Can't tell it 2605 says it. Yeah, Malsum says this is a horrible situation. Yeah, Malsum says trying to get music discs. Scotty P says I forgot your villagers are down here. Can't tell it 2605 says UHHH I lost my elder. Can't tell it 2605 says just wait a bit. Scotty P says oh no. Can't tell it 2605 says that was stuff at you. Can't tell it 2605 says no these ones. Scotty P says OHHH. Can't tell it 2605 says that one's downstairs. Catella2605 says UHHHIDKY isn't working. Scotty P says I got to throw some things away so unanswered. Catella2605 says do you want another stack of diamonds? Scotty P says no, you gave me like a million. Yeah, Malsum says FUHHH. Scotty P says thank you are too nice. Scotty P says I'm gonna go home so I can place my own smithing table. Yeah, Malsum says okay, guess I'm gonna peace. Yeah, Malsum says peace.